So I wanted to make this video for the people who are new to sim racing this year. My name is Leo Smith and I'm a professional race car driver. I'm just kidding. I'm not anything close to a professional race car driver. But I am a sim racer who's been doing it a long time, too long actually. And of course this year with COVID and everything, with everybody out of work and locked down at home, iRacing, the place that I race on, they have picked up a lot of new members. I remember last year this time, the peak daytime people online was like 5,000 people, and not long ago I've seen as many as 12,000 people or more online during the day. So a lot of new people, a lot of people transitioning, from other types of racing and stuff, to iRacing. So a lot of people struggling too. You're trying to, figure out what the good settings are, and what, how to set stuff up, stuff like that. And because of all that, I thought, with all the new racers coming online, I thought I'd give just a few tips I wish I had found early on after I started with iRacing and sim racing. So I've got some tips here, but hey, before we get started, don't forget to subscribe, and it's free, and be sure to like the video and tap the bell so you'll know when we publish new content. Now for the beginner tips, some much simpler than others. Number one, wherever you go, get your monitor or TV set up close as 2 feet if possible, depending on the size and how many you have to set up. You can refer to David Sampson's Field of View setup page to help you get things somewhat calibrated. I'll put a link in the description. Once you get it set, remember where and how you have it set in case it gets moved or bumped or something, so you'll have it always the same way. You want it to be set the same every time you race, so your timing and depth perception is similar, and you want to see and hit the apex the same correct place every time, and when you do that, you'll get faster. Okay, number two, drive the most difficult cars as soon as you feel comfortable on iRacing with number one completed. Some of the most difficult cars to drive are in the Rookie Series on iRacing and are free. The Pickup Cup runs the Legacy NASCAR Truck Chevrolet Silverado 2008. The handling for that truck at most tracks is extremely loose on throttle everywhere. Yeah, everywhere, down the straightaways even, so like at Charlotte, if you ever race it, you'll know it wants to turn into the wall as you're going down the back straight at 170 mile an hour. Okay, so it makes it fun to drive, it's a challenge. Another kind of car like this is the Williams-Toyota FW31. I'm pretty sure that car is free. I do not believe I purchased that car, and it's in my inventory, so I want to try that one out. It's a challenge. It's really a handful. You got to be really careful with the throttle, and you've got a lot of high-speed braking zones, to deal with on the road courses that car runs. So you have to be careful with those cars like that, and you can't just slam the throttle. You have to learn patience and throttle control. Also, something else, when you're driving a loose car on iRacing, practice always having your left foot over the brake, resting your foot on the brake, resting on it, but not pushing on it. Sometimes when you hit the throttle too hard, coming out of the corner, the back end will want to come around. Well, as soon as you sense that, hit your brake or tap the brake, and if it's, too far gone or whatever, just hit your brake and throttle at the same time. I'm talking slam them both all the way down at the same time, and the car will straighten right out. Sometimes tapping or feathering the brake will straighten the car out. You can also use your brake to turn the car in other situations with the brake bias when it's set up correctly, but that's for a later video. Just try to think of steering the car with your feet as well as the steering wheel. Okay, now number three, I would run some AI races. I'd run a lot of AI races and start in the back and set the AI a little slow so you can drive up through the field. You know, practice getting right on the bumper to the side, kind of in the next drive, the race, you know, the next lane. I mean, right real close in the next lane, as if you were 6 inches off the car's door, you know, to the inside. And if you can, try to race right up against the other cars, you know, AI cars, you know, artificial intelligence only for right now. And just practice, you know, getting right on the door. It's not going to cost you any safety rating or anything like that, or you're not losing anything when you race an AI. You know, it's not like an official thing or whatever. Have you ever noticed in road racing and on some ovals too, you know, I guess, you see them right up, the cars on the outside, they're right down on the car on the inside's door, you know, and that's the racing line. That's why they're right down on their door, because that's the fastest line through there. And, you know, just inches matter. I mean, if he's a tire width higher, the lower car just drives away from him usually. Now, in some cases, it's the other way around too. But, you know, that's kind of how that works. And then, you know, if you get up too high at some tracks, you got the cushion there, and that's the upper edge of the racing line, and you don't want to be up there on that. You get up there on that, that's where all the loose stuff and the trash starts, and where all the rubber pellets are. And, you know, iRacing is trying to simulate that just like it is in real life, you know. So you want to avoid jumping the cushion, because, you know, when you do that, you're just going to hit the wall if you get up too high. It's another reason to stay down lower, you know, to practice getting down lower. And, you know, get up high and get into the wall, and a lot of times you bounce off, and then you bounce off right in front of somebody or into somebody. So you don't want to be doing that. You know, people get mad about that. But so it's important to practice down on the AI car's door when you race with them. Then when you go to race real people, you know, you're more comfortable with it, and you're also faster, and you lose less time when you're giving up positions. Okay, number 4, once you've done 1 through 3, start finding practice sessions with more real people cars. Just practice, and also take some time to watch the faster cars and watch, you know, what line they're running, what gears they're running through the corners, if it's on a road course, you know, where they're braking, lifting, and stuff like that. When it's time for you to go out and try to put down your best lap time on most tracks, you know, you don't want to just roar through the opening couple of laps. You know, you want to, in some, you know, yes, in some situations, you know, there are ovals, you know, where you want to go as hard as you can as soon as you leave the pits, you know, to get up that full speed, you know, like a Daytona, Talladega, and even at Charlotte sometimes, you know, when you got the car on the mat all the way around for both qualifying laps. So, but, you know, for the most part, you want to allow some time, maybe 2 laps or so, you know, for your tires to heat up, and for the pressure, you know, tire pressures to come up, because they simulate that too on iRacing. So, you know, the car handles way better once you get some heat and pressure in them, in the tires. And also, I'm not sure how many, but there are several cars on iRacing. They use what they call the V7 tire model. iRacing tries to simulate real conditions and early tire abuse, and, you know, what happens when you do that. So running too hard before the tires are ready to run hard, you know, can cost you a lot of time later, because they fall off quicker, supposedly, when they're not warmed up right. So I don't know, someone correct me if I'm wrong on all this. I'm pretty sure I read this in several updates ago, or a couple of seasons ago, whenever they came out with a V7 tire and was talking about it. And was talking about how, just like warming up the tires wrong, will just wear them bad at the beginning. So that's pretty much it. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hope everybody found the help if they were seeking it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll be back with more videos for you soon. Good luck, and see you on the track, folks.